Pretty lady, to tell you the truth, though that palm leaf cave is an out-of-the-way place, it's an unsullied and comfortable spot. My wife, who has practiced self-cultivation since her youth, is also an immortal who has attained the way. She presides, in fact, over a rather strict household, and there is not a single male within it at the moment, not even a baby boy. How could she have sent a man with a thunder god beak to make demands here? This has to be a fiend from somewhere who has falsely assumed her name to search for me. Let me go out and have a look. Dear Demon King. He strode out of the library and went up to the main hall to put on his armor. After he was suited up properly, he picked up a cast iron rod and went out of the door, crying, "Who is being so rowdy at my place?" When Pilgrim caught sight of him, the figure he saw was quite different from that of 500 years ago. He saw that he had had on a wrought iron helmet, water polished and silver bright. He wore a yellow gold cuirass lined with silk brocade. His feet were shod in a pair of pointed toe and powdered sole buckskin boots. His waist was tied with a Lion King belt of triple braided silk. A pair of eyes that shone like bright mirrors. Two thick eyebrows that glowed like red lightning. His mouth seemed like a bloody bowl. His teeth stood like slabs of bronze. A roaring snort that made mountain gods cringe. An imposing stride that vile spirits feared. Famed in the 4 seas, he was named World Wrecker. The powerful of the West called Demon King. Straightening his clothes, our great sage walked forward and bowed deeply, saying, "Eldest brother, do you still recognize me?" Returning his bow, the Bull King said, "Aren't you Sun Wukong, the great sage, equal to heaven?" "Indeed, I am," replied the great sage. "I have not had the privilege of bowing to you for a long time. Just now, I had to ask a girl before I got to see you again. You look better than ever. Congratulations." "Stop this clever talk," bellowed the Bull King. "I heard that as a result of your causing great disturbance in the Celestial Palace, you were pinned beneath the Mountain of 5 Phases by the Buddhist Patriarch. Recently liberated from your heaven-sent calamity, you were accompanying the Tang monk to see Buddha for scriptures in the Western Heaven. But why did you bring harm to my son, Bull Holy Child, the master of Fiery Cloud Cave, by the dried pine brook on Roaring Mountain? I'm quite mad at you already. Why are you here also looking for me?" Bowing again to him, the great sage said, "Don't wrongly blame me, eldest brother. At that time, your son caught my master and wanted to eat his flesh. Your youngest brother was not able to get near him at all, and it was fortunate that the Bhadas Atva Guanyin came to rescue my master. She persuaded your son to return to the right. Now he has become the boy of goodly wealth, a rank higher even than yours, and he's enjoying the halls of ultimate bliss and the joys of everlasting life. Is there anything wrong with that? Why blame me instead?" "You smart-mouthed ape," scolded the Bull King. "I'll let you talk yourself free of the charge of hurting my son. But why did you insult my beloved concubine and attack her right at my door?" With a laugh, the great sage said, "Because I had a hard time trying to find you. I questioned that girl, but I had no idea that she was my second sister-in-law. She scolded me a little, and I lost my head momentarily and treated her rather roughly. I beg eldest brother to pardon me, please." "If you put it that way," said the Bull King, "I'll spare you for old time's sake. Leave. I can't thank you enough," said the great sage, "for your great kindness. But I still have another matter that I must bring to you, and I beg you to be hospitable." "Monkey," scolded the Bull King, "you don't know your limits. I've spared you already. Instead of going away, you stay here to pester me. What's this business about being hospitable?" "To tell you the truth, eldest brother," said the great sage, "I was accompanying the Tang monk on his westward journey, but our path was blocked by the Mountain of Flames and we couldn't proceed. When we asked the natives of that region, we learned that my esteemed sister-in-law, Rak Asi, had in her possession a palm leaf fan. Since it could be used to extinguish the fire, we went to your house and begged her to lend it to us. She adamantly refused. That's why I now come to you and beg you to extend to us the compassion of heaven and earth. Go with me to the place of my big sister-in-law and persuade her to lend us the fan. As soon as the Tang monk has safely crossed the mountain of flames, we shall return it to you." When he heard these words, the Bull King could not suppress the fire leaping up in his heart. He gritted his teeth and shouted, "You claimed you weren't rowdy, but you wanted the fan all along. You must have insulted my wife first, and when she refused, you came to find me. What's more, you even chased my beloved concubine around. As the proverb says, ye must not slight a friend's wife of thine, nor must ye snub a friend's concubine. You have, in fact, insulted my wife and snubbed my concubine. How insolent can you be? Come up here and have a taste of my rod. If you mention fight," said the great sage, "you won't frighten me. But I have come to beg you for the fan in all earnestness. Please lend it to me." The Bull King said, "If you can withstand me for 3 rounds, I'll tell my wife to give it to you. If not, I'll kill you just to relieve my wrath." "You are right, eldest brother," replied the great sage. "I have been rather remiss in visiting you, and I don't know whether your martial skill is as good as previous years. Let us practice a little with our rods." Without permitting further talk, the Bull King wielded his cast-iron rod and brought it down hard on his visitor's head, and it was met by the golden-hooped rod of the great sage. The two of them thus began quite a battle. The golden-hooped rod, the cast-iron rod. Their colors change and they speak no more as friends. That one says, "I still blame you, monkey, for hurting my son." This one says, "Your son has attained the way, so don't get mad." That one says, "How dare you be so brash as to approach my door?" This one says, "I have good reason to give you a request. One wants the fan to protect the Tang monk. One is too stingy to lend the palm leaf." Words are exchanged, their old amity's gone. Friendship destroyed, they have but anger left. The Bull King's rod like a dragon rears up. The great sage's rod comes, gods and ghosts take flight. Before the mountain they battle at first. Then they rise jointly on auspicious clouds, to show in midair their great magic might, to flaunt their powers in 5-colored lights. 2 rods resound to shake the gates of heaven. None's the stronger, they're evenly matched. Our great sage and the Bull King fought for over 100 rounds, but no decision could be reached. In that moment when it was virtually impossible to separate the two of them, someone suddenly called out from the mountain peak, "Sire Bull, my great king sends you his earnest invitation. Please come early so that the banquet may begin." On hearing this, the Bull King stopped the golden-hooped rod with his cast-iron rod and said, "Monkey, you stop for a moment. I have to attend a banquet in a friend's house first." He dropped down at once from the clouds and went inside the cave to say to Princess Jade Countenance, "Pretty lady, that man just now with a thunder god beak happens to be the monkey, Sun Wukong, who has been driven away by the blows of my rod. He won't dare return. I am off to drink in a friend's house." He took off his armor and put on instead a duck green silk jacket. Walking outside, he mounted a water-repellent golden-eyed beast and, after giving instructions to the little ones to guard the door, departed midway between cloud and fog toward the northwest. When the great sage, standing on the tall summit, saw him leave, he thought to himself, "I wonder what sort of friend that old bull has, and where he is going to attend a banquet. Let old monkey follow him." Dear pilgrim. With one shake of his body, he changed into a gust of wind to catch up with the Bull King and proceed with him. In a little while, they arrived at a mountain, and the Bull King soon disappeared. Collecting himself to change back into his true form, the great sage entered the mountain to look around, and he came upon a deep lagoon with lovely clear water. There was, beside the lagoon, a stone tablet on which there was in large letters this inscription, Scattered Rocks Mountain, Green Wave Lagoon. The great sage thought to himself, "That old bull must have gone into the water, and an aquatic fiend has to be some kind of dragon spirit, fish spirit, or turtle spirit. Let old monkey go in also to have a look." Dear great sage. Making the magic sign with his fingers, he recited a spell and with one shake of his body changed into a crab. Neither too big nor too small, it weighed about 36 pounds. He leapt into the water with a splash and sank quickly to the bottom of the lagoon. There he saw all at once a towered gateway with finely carved openwork. Beneath the arch there was tied the water-repellent golden-eyed beast, but it was waterless inside the gateway. Crawling through, the great sage stared all around and he heard the sound of music coming from buildings still further in. This is what he saw. Scarlet halls and shelled arches. Not commonly found in this world. Roof tiles made of yellow gold. Door frames formed by milk-white jade. Railings built from coral twigs. Spread screens of tortoise shell inlay. Auspicious clouds hang o'er the lotus throne. Above, the three lights, below, the Milky Way. Though it's not heaven or the sea's treasure chest. This place quite rivals the island of Pong. Guests and hosts gather in a tall banquet hall. Pearls stud the caps of officials great and small. They beckon jade girls to serve their ivory trays.